Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90 is brought to you by Stanbic Bank.
A very warm welcome to Spectrum on Radio 1. My name is Edmond. Tonight on Spectrum, what motives is the opposition harboring in regard to their calls for peaceful demonstrations? Today, a section of opposition parties carried out a peaceful demonstration on several streets of Kampala, describing this as the starting point of the efforts to convince Ugandans into mass protests to reject the 2011 presidential election. The demonstration was led by UPC's Dr. Olara Otunnu, JMA's Asuman Basaliva, and former presidential candidate Samuel Walter Lubega. Although the group was not blocked or intercepted by the police, many Ugandans were reluctant to join them, choosing to close down their businesses instead and watch out for any eventualities. Despite being largely peaceful, police was forced to fire tear gas at the Chiseka market area, where traders were bitter about the heavy deployment of the military and riot police, a move they say was frustrating their customers. Government, through the Information Minister, Kabakumba Masiko, has cautioned Ugandans against getting involved in violent acts. Government has indicated that protests similar to those which happened in Tunisia, Egypt and now in Libya cannot happen in Uganda, given the fact that different conditions prevail in those countries. Government argues that there are no grounds for discontent in Uganda and that those calling for peaceful demonstrations are only trying to use this as an excuse to cause instability, violence and disruptions in fulfilling their own narrow agendas. So tonight we ask, are the demonstrations being called by the opposition justifiable? If the opposition believes the 2011 presidential election results were wrong, why didn't they use the legal system to seek justice? Now the opposition says the peaceful demonstrations must be people-led, but after today's poor following, could it be a signal to the opposition to drop their agitation? Our guests tonight, Honorable Mike Sebalu, Member of Parliament at the East African Legislative Assembly, also from the NRM-NEC. You're welcome, Honorable Sebalu.
Thank you very much, Edmond, and I'd like to say hello to our listeners out there. And I just want to thank you for having invited me to share my thoughts on this topical issue. So I hope that at the end of the day we shall have a fruitful, interactive engagement with all listeners out there. And I also welcome my brother from the activity he's been undertaking today.
All right. I'll introduce him now. Our second guest is Ambassador Dr. Olara Otunnu, UPC President and a former presidential candidate. You're most welcome, Ambassador Otunnu.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here on this program this evening, and I greet all our listeners. I'm also happy to join the Honorable Mr. Sebalu and look forward to a very informative discussion.
Ambassador Otunnu, you called for peaceful demonstrations, indicating that they would be led by Ugandans who are disgruntled by the presidential results. Today you began the demonstrations, but you had a poor following. Does this, what does this say about does this speak volumes that Ugandans are not ready to heed your calls?
Actually, that characterization misses the point. Today, we're able to achieve entirely all the objectives that we set out for the launch of the non-violent, peaceful resistance. We wanted first to make it clear that we are able to conduct a public, peaceful, non-violent manifestation in the streets of Kampala. And we wanted to begin by the leaders themselves setting an example. So we set out walking on the streets of Kampala, launching our peaceful protest and saying we can do this and do so peacefully. All those who were with us were peaceful. They were singing, they were waving, they were chanting. No stone was thrown, no club was wielded, no gun was shot. They were completely peaceful. So we succeeded in making it clear to Ugandans and the world that what we plan, what we have in our program, are positive, non-violent resistance. Secondly, we wanted to make it clear to Ugandans that it's within our right that we are operating within the framework of the Constitution and the laws of Uganda, that Ugandans are breaking no laws at all when they engage in peaceful demonstrations anywhere in our country. And we were able to do that. Thirdly, we know that Museveni, Kayihura, and others who are working and plotting, they are instigating violence. What did Museveni say? He said, I will kill those who demonstrate against the government. What did Museveni say again? He said, I will crush and reduce them to samosas, those who want to resist the outcome of these elections. Are those the words of a president who has just won what he terms a popular mandate? Those are the words of a dictator in great panic. So he is fomenting violence, and we saw it in Kisaka today. Our people were there peaceful, they were singing, they had placards, they did not assault anybody. Then the avalanche of security people arrived, they begin throwing tear gas, they begin shooting. That is what Museveni and Kayihura are planning. So we were able to demonstrate that they are the ones who in fact want to commit violence against peaceful Ugandans. And then finally, we wanted to end today's proceedings with the public ceremonial signing of the Blue Book. This is the book of petition that many Ugandans, over 4 million Ugandans have now signed it, expressing their no confidence in the electoral exercise and in its outcome, in the Electoral Commission, in the voters registry, and Ugandans are continuing to sign this book. So we ended it with the book signing, the Blue Book signing, in the Uganda House Square, the space just outside of Uganda House. We had hoped to do this in Railway Square. They blocked it off completely, cleared people from there. Then we wanted to do it in Kisaka. Some of our people had reached Kisaka. Others, the leaders, couldn't reach Kisaka because they blocked off Kisaka. Then we wanted to go to a winter market, and they did the same thing. So we said, well, you can block so many places, but you cannot block the whole of Kampala. We then settled for signing of the Blue Book in front of Uganda House in the Uganda House Square. So really all the objectives we set for the launch of the peaceful protest and for the launch of the new umbrella group that we have formed called Campaign for Free and Fair Election Cafe, we have succeeded.
So basically, just how far are you prepared to push this agenda of demonstrations?
We plan to push this all the way. The time has come for Ugandans to say enough is enough. This is the moment of reckoning. This is the moment of truth, finally. This is the moment in which we have to be counted. We have a choice to remain in servitude under Museveni, subjugated by this man and his regime, abused, brutalized, with all the experience that we know that is represented by this regime, or to say no. This is our country. We are going to take back this country. We are going to draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough, Museveni. We shall take this no more. We are taking charge of our country again. That's a choice we have made. And I think Ugandans in their largest numbers are eager to join in making this same choice.
All right, maybe before we get another perspective, very, very quickly, what is your ultimate prize? A new election, a new leadership? What exactly do you want?
Well, we have actually been very clear, very categoric. Our objective, our goal is the following: to carry out a program of positive, non-violent resistance against the sham elections which have just been conducted by Museveni, and to ensure the holding of fresh, free, and fair elections. Very precise, very clear, very targeted. That